fight. I know Imamov and Khamzat kind of don't want to fight each other. I'm not really excited for that fight. The Strickland fight, I faced Strickland. In the striking, he definitely beats Khamzat for sure. Khamzat, a problem to deal with when he has you on your back. We've seen that many times. With Strickland, what he does brilliantly, I took Strickland down, I think 7 times. The way he gets up to hold him down is incredibly hard. At Extreme Couture, where they specialize in that cage wrestling and getting back to his feet. And Strickland's a lot stronger than people might think. I think he has a very good chance in that fight.
Strickland.
So CEO Dana White's announced that middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev has got to make his first defense of his title against former champion Sean Strickland at UFC 328, Saturday, May 9th, 2026, inside the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. So the UFC middleweight division is about to go bonkers, guys, and it might just explode as we know it, because Khamzat Chimaev, Sean Strickland, they're finally going to fight. And this isn't just like another title defense. I mean, this is a rivalry that's been building up for many, many years, and it has a lot of real bad blood connotation behind it. So here's a bigger question that nobody's really asking yet, and I'm going to ask this question: What happens to the entire middleweight division if Khamzat Chimaev wins this fight? Right, because as we know it, the middleweight division is just upside down right now. Because the answer is going to completely reshape the future of the UFC. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome to Duality 7X. I'm your host, Shiraz. Here we try to break down the biggest stories when it comes to the world of combat sports, and not just what happened, but what it actually means for the future of the fight game. And today, guys, is no different. Today we're going to have to talk about a fight that honestly feels inevitable at this point. And Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. I didn't know this was going to happen so quick, but I thought it was going to be a UFC Freedom 250. But UFC 328, May 9th at Newark, New Jersey, that's going to be absolutely intense, guys. And if you've been following the middleweight division closely, then you already know that this one has been coming for like a long, long time. Again, I thought these guys are going to fight at the UFC White House card, but no, these guys aren't on the card. But UFC 328, that's what's going to happen. So it's going to be absolutely intense, and I can't wait. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, guys, but like now on paper, this fight actually makes perfect sense, because Chimaev is actually 15-0. He's undefeated, and he's probably one of the most dominant fighters that the UFC has seen in many, many years. Okay, you saw his last fight when he won the championship against Dricus du Plessis. I mean, like, that was in August. He completely controlled DDP. I mean, over 5 rounds. It was absolutely intense. And before that, he submitted Robert Whittaker and even beat the former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman. So right now, the UFC is clearly building him as probably one of the biggest stars in the sport. And that's no joke. I mean, that's actually happening, guys. But the real story, it's not just the title defense here. It's who he's fighting. And I mean, right now, Sean Strickland he's probably the most unpredictable personality in the entire UFC. I mean, he's got a personality, guys. He's got a character. He's quite controversial. He's done a lot of different things. So again, guys, there's been a lot of bad blood. Sean Strickland, Chimaev has got a lot of attention for many, many years. And I mean, this rivalry actually probably goes back to when they sparred together at Extreme Couture, if you guys remember that. And it was absolutely intense. I mean, both of these fighters have told very, very different stories about how those sessions went. And I mean, Strickland claims he got the better of Chimaev. I don't know, man. Chimaev basically laughs that off and says it wasn't even close. So I'll let you guys kind of figure that one out. But I mean, since then, the two have been trading shots at each other in interviews and on social media. And if you know anything about Sean Strickland, You know that he doesn't hold back. I mean, Sean's again, he's very overpowering, very controversial. His interviews alone made him one of the most controversial fighters in the entire UFC, and he's been accused of saying things that are absolutely racist, sexist, and quite offensive to a variety of different groups. So recently, after beating Anthony Hernandez to become the #1 contender, right? Sean Strickland actually had his microphone cut off at the press conference while he was insulting Chimaev. That happened, guys. That was a thing, and that tells you honestly everything you need to know about how heated this rivalry has become. I mean, even Dana White joked that the UFC might need extra security for fight week. And I believe it, guys. And honestly, he might not be wrong. So yeah, that actually, I mean, wherever Sean goes, there's always going to be some kind of controversy. People are talking about the stakes, what this really means, and here's where I find the story getting really, really interesting. Because I mean, this fight isn't just about two guys who dislike each other. I mean, yeah, there's history between these guys, but this fight could honestly determine who controls the middleweight division probably for like the next 5 years. And yeah, Khamzat Chimaev right now feels like a fighter that the UFC wants to build an entire era around. I mean, the way he took out DDP, it was absolutely flawless, right? I mean, he's undefeated, he finishes fights, and he has that type of dominant style that makes people believe that he might actually be unstoppable. Right, so if he beats Sean Strickland convincingly, you're probably suddenly looking at a champion who I think in many people's eyes could start running through the entire division as we know it. He might actually have to change weight classes, because this is how interesting this thing is getting. Because I mean, look, the UFC loves dominant champions, but dominant champions can also create a pretty big problem. Right, so I mean, when I think of these guys, I mean, they like dominant champions could also run out of challengers, and this is what I'm a little afraid of, because if Khamzat Chimaev beats Sean Strickland, he's gonna run through the entire division like there's no tomorrow, right? And I mean, there's another angle here that a lot of people are not talking about yet. What if Sean Strickland wins? If Sean Strickland wins, I mean, that outcome might probably create one of the most chaotic situations that the UFC has dealt with in many, many years, right? And so that's another thing that a lot of people have to contend with. They have to understand. But I'll come back to that in just a second, guys. But just think about that. If Sean Strickland wins, this could be a little bit problematic, right? I mean, when you think about Sean Strickland, he's one of the strangest champions that the UFC has ever had. I mean, when he won the title the first time, a lot of people didn't even see it coming. He's got a weird kind of an awkward kind of a style. He's a little unorthodox in his approach. He isn't flashy. He mostly fights behind a jab. He likes to he likes to walk forward. He is a little bit aggressive. He likes to talk to his opponents during the fight. But somehow it works for this guy. Somehow it works for him. So, I mean, Sean Strickland, I mean, he just keeps breaking people down with that forward pressure, that volume, staying behind his jab. And more importantly, he has something that the UFC actually values more than people actually realize, right? So this is like, look, you got to pay attention to this, because Sean's not a guy that you want to make a mistake against. Now, whether you agree with him or not, or what he says, I mean, is irrelevant, right? People still watch Sean Strickland because he's trending. He's always controversial. His interviews always go viral, and the UFC understands that hype factor that surrounds Sean Strickland. The controversy that surrounds him often sells fights. So from a business perspective, this matchup is probably almost perfect. I mean, these guys did it. I'm actually impressed that they actually made this match, right? Because you have an unstoppable, undefeated champion in Khamzat Chimaev, and then you have an unpredictable, loudmouth challenger in Sean Strickland. And he's not going to be taking out any YouTubers right now, but he's going to be facing a guy who's a big contender. So, anyways, guys, this is the real story might actually be what happens after this fight. And this is why a lot of people are going to be paying attention to this, because if Chimaev wins the UFC in May, then the UFC has their next long-term superstar champion. Somehow, some guy, Chimaev can headline for years. I think he can headline for many, many years. But if Strickland wins, the entire middleweight division is going to be upside down, on its head. It's going to be in chaos, and then suddenly you have a champion who can lose to almost anyone on any fight, and that opens the doors to more rematches, rivalries, unpredictable title fights. It's going to be absolutely chaotic. And believe it or not, the UFC sometimes prefers a lot of chaos, because this is what they like, because chaos obviously means a lot more storylines. So more storylines means more fights. And this is what the people want. They want to see more fights. This is what people want to watch. So it's going to be absolutely intense. So my conclusion on this is the reason why this matters. So when you really step back and you actually look at this fight from a different lens, from a different perspective, this isn't just a title defense. This is a fight that could actually decide what the middleweight division actually looks like for the rest of the decade. So this is really important, and this is why a lot of people need to start paying attention a little bit more to this fight, because if Khamzat Chimaev is about to start a dominant championship run, then people need to be on the lookout. And if Sean Strickland is coming to this fight to flip the entire division upside down again, then people are in for some more bad news for many, many years. We're going to find out what happens at UFC 328 in Newark on May 9th. And if the history between these two guys is any indication, fight week alone will probably, in my opinion, might be just as wild as the fight itself. It's going to be absolutely chaotic, absolutely insane. So I don't feel bad that these guys are not fighting on the UFC Freedom 250 card anymore. I think it's going to be great that they're going to be headlining at UFC 328. But I want to hear you guys. I want to hear what your comments are. Who do you think wins this fight? Does Chimaev actually dominate like he's dominated every single fighter that he's fought? Or does Sean Strickland flip the script this time and put Chimaev upside down on his head? Let me know in the comments, guys. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown, please make sure to like the video, smash the like and subscribe, hit the notifications so you guys never miss a beat. And guys, we're locked and loaded here every single day. We've got new storylines, breaking news that we're constantly bringing to you guys. So anyways, guys, thank you guys for sticking around. The pleasure was all mine. And I look forward to catching you guys in tomorrow's video.